Hi, my name is Elaine and I'm a chartered physiotherapist and clinical Pilates instructor, and today I'm going to take you through a little series to wake up the legs, particularly the glutes and some of those core stabilizing muscles in the body to help improve balance. So we'll start with a warm-up just for the spine. We'll get you standing on your mat and doing some roll downs. So big breath in through the nose, and then as you exhale I want you to tuck your chin to your chest, and I want you to imagine there's a heavy weight at the crown of your head pulling you down to the floor as you peel the head, neck, shoulders, upper back, middle back and lower back away from the wall but behind you, making a nice C shape through the spine. Take a big breath in at the bottom and then exhaling through the mouth as you scoop through the belly, tuck the tail in and roll one bone all the way back up, rolling those shoulders and coming back to standing nice and tall. Big breath in through the nose and exhaling chin to chest. Let the head, neck and shoulders fall heavy, let the arms fall heavy, let everything go heavy as you make that nice big C shape through the spine, keeping a soft bend in the knees, not extending them too much, but getting a good stretch through the back of the legs and through that lower back. Inhale at the bottom and exhale. Let's tuck the tail in. Use those core tummy muscles to help control you as you roll all the way back up to the top. Rolling those shoulders, coming back to standing nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, chin to chest, rolling all the way down, making that nice C shape through the spine as we let everything fall heavy to the floor. Nice big breath in through the nose here at the bottom, and then exhale, scoot through the tummy, tucking the tail in, rolling the lower back, middle back, upper back, and restacking head, neck and shoulders back on top of the spine. Now from here we're going to work a little bit on balance and wake up some of those muscles around the legs. So reaching the hands out in front of you, I want you to come all the way up onto your tippy toes. From there, we're going to slowly bend your knees with control, keeping a nice straight spine and keep reaching those hands in front of you. Come down as low as you feel comfortable, lower the heels and then push all the way back up into standing. Back up onto the toes, weight evenly spread right to left, and try and keep that weight even through all 10 toes here. Draw up and in through the lower tummy to help control the balance. Fix your gaze on a point in front of you as you slowly bend the knees, keeping the knees distance apart. Try not to let those knees roll in. Come down as low as you feel comfortable. Drop the heels and push all the way back up. Coming back up onto the toes, reach those hands out again for me. Bending the knees, coming all the way down as low as you feel comfortable to go. Drop the heels and push all the way back up into standing. 2 more for me. Coming up onto those toes, bending the knees, keeping the knees hip distance apart, feet hip distance apart as you lower down, drop the heels and push all the way up. Now if you have any knee issues, I want you to think about throwing the weight back towards your bum, back towards the wall behind you as you do this. And it's not about how deep you go, it's just about work. Now from there we're going to take a step forwards onto your left foot. Reach the right leg back behind you, hands on your hips, chest up nice and tall, and we're going to drop the back knee down, looking for a 90-degree angle at both knees. Dropping the back knee down, weight through the front heel and push back up through that front heel as we come into our lunge. We're going for 6 in total. Dropping down, push through that left heel as you come all the way up. 2 more for me. Drop down, push through the left heel. And lower down, back knee down, pushing up through that left heel. Again, about halfway, I want you to hold it here. And from there, we're just going to lift and lower the front leg. So lift that front heel, lower it back down. Lift that front heel, lower it back down. For 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and drop the back knee all the way down. Relax the toes. And we're going to take a nice stretch for the front of the hip, Very good one if you have been sitting at your desk all day today. Those hip flexors will be tight, and to really get into them, I want you to scoop the tummy in, I want you to tuck your tail in, and from there just very gently push the hips forwards. Keep that tail tucked in so you feel the stretch through the front of the hip. Do not stick the tail out. I don't want you to feel this arching through the back. I want you to really focus in on the front of the hips. Tuck that tail in, push the hips gently forwards. And to get a little bit more of a stretch, what you can do is you can reach that right arm up towards the ceiling, and if it feels good, you can lean to the left. Really opening up through the ribs, through the front of the hip. Stretching out those hip flexor muscles. It can get tight if you're sitting a lot, if you're a runner, or even if you've been driving a lot. Good. All right. Let's come back up, pushing yourself all the way back up into standing, and we'll do the other side. So right leg in front this time. We're going to step back with your left leg, and we're looking for roughly a 90-degree bend with both legs. Dropping that back knee down and push through that front heel. Drop that back knee down and push through that front heel. The toes on the front leg should be nice and soft to help wake up the glute in that front leg. Let's go for 3 more, making it 6 in total. Good. Let's drop that back heel down, back leg down, push up through that front heel for 2 more. And pushing up. And again, if you have any knee issues, just reduce the distance. Try not to come down quite so low if it doesn't feel comfortable on the front knee, and make sure you're not driving that front knee forwards. You want to be able to, as you drop down, you want to be able to see the big toe and the second toe on that front leg. Now we're going to hold it here, and from there we're going to lift and lower that front heel. Lifting the front heel up and drop it back down. Lift that front heel up, drop it back down for 4 more. And 3. And 2, keep breathing. And 1, lower that heel, drop that back knee down, relax the back foot, scoop through the belly, tuck that tail in, and let's gently push the hips forwards, feeling that nice stretch to the front of your left hip this time. If you want a little bit more, you can reach that left arm up towards the ceiling, and then tip the body over to the right side. And breathe into that stretch, feeling that nice gentle pulling sensation in front of the left hip. If you have any tenderness or any issues kneeling on the back knee, you can fold up your mat or place a little towel or a pillow underneath the knee as you do this stretch. Good. All right, we're going to come onto all fours now. So bringing your right knee back behind you, 2 hands on the mat. Place them down underneath your shoulders. Nice soft bend in those elbows, knees relaxed and hip distance apart. Place them directly underneath your hips. We're going to come into a little spine stretch or cat stretch. Scoot through the belly, tuck the tail in, push the floor away. Come into an angry cat as you look in between your knees, taking a nice big breath in. And then exhale, stick the tail out, drop the tummy, lift the chest as you look out in front of you. Inhale, scoot through the belly, push the floor away, rounding the tail, rounding the middle back, the lower back, and the upper back, dropping the head to look in between your knees. And inhale as we look the body forwards, coming into our cow shape. Good. Inhale one more time, scoop the belly, tuck the tail in, push the floor away. And exhale as you drop the chest, drop the tummy, stick the tail out and look forwards. Then come into a nice long straight spine. Imagine there's a piece of string at the crown of your head and a piece of string at your tailbone, pulling you in opposite directions so you get that nice length through the spine. Gently push the floor away so you get that nice engagement around the shoulder blades, and make sure the lower back is not arching. You've got a very gentle tuck of the tail, and I want you to gently draw your navel towards your spine to engage those lower tummy muscles. Now from there, weight even through both hands, you're going to reach your right leg back behind you, keeping your right hip bone pointed and anchored straight down towards the floor. So that may mean you don't lift the leg too high. If you start to feel the body rotate out to the side, just draw that hip back down towards the floor, hold it here, and from there we're going to reach the leg out to the side like a windscreen wiper and pull it back to center. Reaching that right leg out to the side and back to center. Again, focus on the quality of the movement, keeping the upper back and pelvis nice and steady so the movement purely comes from the hip and you're not swinging your tail out to the right. So keep the movement nice and controlled, keep the whole body nice and steady. That movement is a pure abduction from the hip. Let's go for 3, for 2, and 1 more. Keeping the back leg back behind you now. We're going to pull that knee in towards the chest, hover it off the floor, and then reach it straight back behind you. Pulling that knee in towards your chest, keep it hovering off the floor and straight back behind you. Let's keep this going. Bringing the knee in towards your chest and back behind you. Keeping that tail tucked in, keeping the lower tummy drawn in towards your spine, and pushing the floor away. Your gaze is about 2 inches in front of the fingertips. And if you want an extra challenge here, you can try raising the left hand as you do this. Bring the elbow to meet the knee and reach the arm and leg out. Elbow to knee, arm and leg go out. If that's too much or you feel too unsteady, you can keep both hands on the floor. Okay, last one. Reach that right leg out behind you. We're going to bend the knee to about a 90-degree angle. Again, option to reach your left arm out if you want a bit more of a core challenge. Otherwise, both hands can stay on the floor. And from there, we're going to do a little donkey kick. So we're just gently pulsing that heel up towards the ceiling. I want you to really feel the squeeze at the crease of the bottom here. As we drive that heel, gently, small little movements up and down towards the ceiling. Just gentle lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Let's go for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1, and bring that knee back down to the center. So knee comes directly under your right hip. Reset if you need to, so gently push through those hands, pushing the floor away, lower tummy towards the spine, reaching your left leg back behind you, and we windscreen wiper. So left leg out to the side and bring it back to center. Left leg out to the side and back to the center. Left leg out to side, back to center. Out to the side, back to center. Keep that left hip bone anchored down towards the floor. Make sure you're not rotating the body out towards the left. Again, an option to reach your right hand out and do a similar windscreen wiper movement with that right hand. If that's too unsteady or too much of a challenge, keep both hands on the floor. Let's go for 2 and 1, bringing that left leg back to the center, and we're going to bring that left knee in. Keep hovering it off the floor as you bring it in towards your chest and reach it straight back behind you. Bring that knee in towards your chest and straight back behind you. Knee to chest, straight back behind you. Option to go with the right arm at the same time. Reaching arm and leg out and back to center. Keep working with the breath. Inhale and exhale with each movement. Belly button stays in towards your spine and you're pushing the floor away with that left arm. Let's go for 3, for 2, and 1, and we're going to finish with our little donkey kick, bending that left knee to 90 degrees roughly, feeling the little crease of the bum squeeze as you pulse that left heel up towards the ceiling, working with the breath. Exhaling as you pulse up for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1, and gently bring that knee back down to the center. Well done. Okay, from there we're just going to swing the legs around, resting on your back with your knees bent. Good. From there we're going to roll up into our little bridge. So squeeze the cheeks of the bum as you tuck your tail in, lifting those hips towards the ceiling. Hold it up here. Reach the hands up and overhead. Plant those hands down behind you and then slowly roll one bone at a time back down onto the floor, bringing those hands back down to your hips. Tuck the tail in, rolling up, heeling one bone at a time up off the floor, pushing through those heels so you get a little bit more glute activity. Reach the hands back and roll all the way back down. Good, bringing the hands back down to meet your hips. Push through those heels. Draw up and in through the lower tummy, peeling one bone at a time, up off the floor, reach the hands up and overhead, anchor those hands behind you and slowly roll one bone at a time, all the way back down onto the floor. Finish by bringing those hands back down beside you. Let's go for 2 more. Driving through the heels as you roll all the way up to get a little bit more glute activation. As you reach those hands up and overhead, see if you can think about keeping your ribs drawing down towards your hips, particularly then as you roll one bone at a time back down onto the floor. Try and keep those ribs drawing down towards your hips. That will allow your thoracic spine to get a little bit more movement. And one more, rolling all the way back up. Good, reach the hands all the way up overhead, rolling one bone at a time all the way back down, and bringing those hands back down towards your side. Okay, we're going to roll over onto your right side. Keep both knees bent at 90 degrees. Rest your top hand in front of you and rest your right ear on your right arm. Both knees, legs, hips and knees at 90 degrees. Draw up and in through the lower tummy, and I want you to push your top hip down away from you towards the opposite wall. So you almost feel a little lift through the lower waistline. Engaging, that will help you to engage through your lower abdominals and through your obliques to help control the pelvis with this exercise. We're going to lift and lower the top leg for 8, for 7, for 6. Exhale as you lift, 5. Exhale as you lift for 4. Try not to roll that top hip back. I want you to just keep those hips stacked. Keep drawing up and in through the lower tummy. 2 and 1. And then we're going to reach that top leg out long, keeping the bottom leg bent. And from there, we're going to lift and lower that top leg. Again, try not to drop your lower waistline. So focus on control and quality of movement rather than range of movement. So lifting that top heel up and down towards the ceiling. Keep that little lift in the lower waistline. There should be enough space to fit your fingertips underneath that lower waistline. Keep drawing up and in through the lower tummy, keeping the hips stacked one on top of the other. Let's go for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Hover that top leg about hip height above the floor. And from there, we're going to sweep the leg forwards, keeping that knee straight, and then pull it back to where you began. Sweep the leg forwards and pull it back to center. So that leg just comes back so it's in line with the spine. And as you reach forwards, your hamstrings will dictate how far you can actually reach that leg forwards. So we don't want any rounding in the lower back as you reach that leg forwards. You want to keep a nice long straight spine, keep lower tummy drawn in towards your spine, and keep pushing that top hip down away from your ribs to keep that little lift through the lower waistline. We go for 4 more. And 3, and 2, really waking up that top glute, and 1, so you should be getting a little bit of heat through that top bum cheek now. And we're going to finish with some circles. We're going to go for 8 in one direction, again keeping the hips stacked and steady, keeping the lower tummy drawn in towards your spine. Keep working with the breath, so keep breathing throughout this whole exercise. For 3, for 2, and 1, getting some nice heat through the bum now as we reverse for 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep pushing that top hip away from the rib cage. Keep that little lift through the lower waistline. And 1, and rest. Good. So from there, we're just going to swivel around and we're going to do the other side. So resting on your left side, left arm reaches out long. Your right hand can rest in front of you for a little bit of balance, both knees bent about 90 degrees. Starting with that top leg, we're going to do some lift and lower. So first of all, set your position again. Just check that lower waistline, push your top hip away from you. Draw up and in through the lower tummy. Nice big inhale, and as we exhale, we lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Focusing on quality of movement, keeping the hips nice and steady, keeping that little lift through the lower waistline. And not allowing that top hip to roll back. We go for 3 more. And 2. And last one, exhale, inhale to lower. Reach that top leg out long, stretch that foot away from the hip. Stretch your top hip away from your ribs. Feel a little lift through the lower waistline. Lower tummy draws in towards your spine. Exhale as we lift, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Focusing on control and quality of movement rather than range, so we don't want that lower waistline to sink down to the floor as we do this. Lifting and lowering, working with the breath. We go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then lower the leg to hip height and start to sweep that top leg forwards and pull it back. Inhale to sweep forwards, exhale to pull back. Inhale, sweep forwards, exhale to pull back. Imagine you've got a paintbrush between your big toe and your second toe. As you sweep that leg forwards, we're painting a nice long stripe along the wall below us. Nice steady movements, nice sweeping movements with that top leg, keeping the hips nice and steady, not allowing your lower back to round as you do this, keeping the pelvis still. The only movement comes from the hip, and again you might feel a little bit of a tug or a stretch on the hamstring as you reach the leg forwards. Try not to overstretch it and round through the back. We go for 2, and last one, we bring that leg back so it's just in line with the hips, and we finish with some circles. So reaching the leg up, back and around, keeping the hips nice and stacked. We go for 5, 4, keeping the lower tummy drawn in towards your spine. 3, 2, 1, and then reversing in the opposite direction. We go for 8, 7, keep that lower waistline lifted away from the floor. 5, 4, keep working with the breath. Keep breathing. Try not to hold your breath as you do this. 2, and 1. Bending both knees, and we're going to roll onto our back. Let's give those glutes a nice little stretch after that, and we'll take a little stretch through the lower back to finish. So starting with our first leg, so we're going to cross that left foot over your right knee, and that may be enough of a stretch for you. You might feel a little pull through that left bum cheek. If you want a little bit more, you can reach the hands out for that right leg, reaching the hands around the back of the right thigh and just gently pulling the leg in towards you. Relax the shoulders, relax the head, relax the jaw, relax the eye muscles, the forehead. Close the eyes if it feels good, and just work with your breath here. Inhale and exhale, slowing the breath down and rewarding that left bum cheek with a nice stretch. One more breath in. And exhale all the way out. Lower the legs down. Reach the hands out to the side. And we're going to gently let the legs drop out to the right side, turning the head to the left. Get a little stretch through that lower back. You might even get an extra stretch through that left hip here. Keeping the left shoulder grounded down onto the floor. Big breath in and exhale. Big breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Good. Inhale, and on that next exhale, just bring those legs back to the center, placing your left foot down, cross the right foot over your left knee, making a figure 4 position, and that again may be enough of a stretch for that right hip. If you've any knee issues, this is enough of a stretch for you too. Otherwise, you can grab both hands, reach for the back of that left thigh and gently pull it towards you. Just deepening that stretch to that right hip. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Relax the neck muscles, relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, relax the forehead. Gently close your eyes as you work with the breath. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And then lowering that left foot down. Reach both hands out to a figure T position. and just gently letting the hips roll to the left, feeling that stretch through the left hip and through the lower back, or the right hip I should say, and the lower back. Again, working with your breath, feel the ribs expand as you breathe in through the nose. Try and get that air all the way down to the base of your lungs, and then a big exhale through the mouth as you let it go. Inhale through the nose. And last breath in. And a big breath out. On your next exhale, so we take a breath in. On your next exhale, we're going to bring those legs back to center. Uncross the legs. Hug your knees in towards your chest. You can rock the body side to side or forwards and backwards, whatever feels good for you here. Just giving yourself a gentle hug of knees to spine. And then relax the legs out, relax the arms out. Rest in whatever position feels good for you. Take a few big deep breaths. Take as long as you like or as long as you have before you have to return to your day. Well done, and thanks for joining me for that little leg session. Hopefully they're feeling nice and warmed up and you're ready to continue with your day.